Your home should feel comfortable, not invaded. At True North Pest Control, we don't just treat pests, we protect what matters most. Our expert team delivers safe, effective solutions that keep pests out for good so you can enjoy your home worry-free. Call True North Pest Control today for your free inspection. True North Pest Control. Protection you can trust.
Hey, this is meteorologist Chris Smith here on this Thursday evening here in the studios of Panhandle Weather in Inlet Beach. Meteorologist Dan Nyman at his studio there over in Panama City. How are we doing today?
Good. We were looking a lot better outside today. Had a lot of sunshine to soak up here over in Panama City. I think it sets the tone well heading into this weekend too, because I think I noticed 3-4 this afternoon, a little bit of a lighter wind, which was obviously a big part of what maybe folks were stopping by in the shows earlier this week and asking us to turn that off, get rid of that wind.
Yeah, it's taking its time. It was still, I would classify it as breezy, but like
Yes.
we had been in the windy category. And I'm not sure there's really even a technical definition, but like once you're getting wind gusts over 20, I think you're definitely on the windier side of things as opposed to breezy. But yes, the wind is slowly but surely dying down. And every day is a little less windy, even though it was breezy, than the day before.
It all depends on what it was on the Beaufort scale. That was the topic of the day.
Yes. Oh, goodness. Yeah, some of the different places around the world, measure wind speeds and kilometers per hour, meters per second, the Beaufort scale, all the Scandinavian countries still use it.
And then this weekend, speaking of knots, Austin Allen talking about the air show he's going. Lots of people are going. We've worked really hard to get perfect weather on the way for that.
Yes, and when I was checking the marine forecast, it was looking fairly favorable yes.
Yeah, it's a good timing. It's about time that we see some favorable boating weather here. It's been a little while, but it looks like David Wesley caught some folks out there anyway, even though things have been generally rough. And one of the spots that wasn't so bad, Chris, were those near-shore waters out across the Gulf.
Yes, if you're tucked in there pretty close, it's pretty good. Now, as you go farther offshore, you're still at 3 to 5 feet. Like, it's not fun at all. And even for it's going to take a couple days for it to even settle down, and I've just cut an update on the marine forecast, and as we get into Saturday, maybe 2 to 3 foot seas, as you move offshore, and 2 to 3 is not necessarily a fun day.
Yeah, it's definitely not. I thought so before I was on a boat, but really 1 to 2 is the limit of comfort, and then everything from kind of 2 to 3 and higher than that is just different levels of uncomfortable to the downright don't go zone. I think is about 6 for most here.
Yeah, well, you're out there, it's been coming up on 2 weeks of fairly windy weather. I would say that a decent number of boats have not been out for 2 weeks because it just hasn't been great, even though obviously, look at the blue skies. Everything's great, but the seas, not so much.
There'll be as much traffic on the water, I'm sure, as there will be in town this weekend.
Yes. Another thing today, more counties added to the burn ban, and this isn't even all of them. They haven't shaded in Washington County, but it's been added. I sent out a push notification about it. Holmes, Washington, Bay, Calhoun, Gulf, Franklin, Liberty, Gadsden, and Leon counties. So we added Holmes and Washington and Gadsden counties today to the burn ban. So we're rapidly filling up the map with red, and kind of rightfully so. It is very, very dry across Northwest Florida. Now, the drought monitor coming out today, and that exceptional drought conditions. Now, pretty much everyone east of 231 under exceptional drought conditions. And then severe or extreme drought conditions over to about 331 to the Okaloosa County line. Severe and moderate drought conditions as you move beyond that. So again, things continuing to head in the wrong direction when it comes to the drought across our area. Relative humidity values. Now, as far as the spread of fires, yes, it's very dry, but the humidity has continued to come up. We're into the 40s and 50s right now. Just a couple days ago, we had relative humidity values down into the mid-20s across our area. So let's go ahead and talk about winds. Winds beginning to settle down a little bit. One thing to note here, you can see, look at that. The sea breeze is now inland across parts of our area, and that will start to increase the humidity. So even though it's not going to rain, even increasing the humidity will help as far as mitigate the spread of fires across our area. And this is just a sign of things to come over the coming days. Those sea breeze will be more robust, and we'll start to see a little bit more moisture in the atmosphere. So this evening, fire danger is relatively low. As we move into tomorrow, notice the map kind of lightens a little bit. We see low to moderate. It's still generally in the low category when it comes to that fire weather risk. Turns a little deeper green overnight, higher humidity values. And then as we move into Saturday, you see it kind of lighten a little bit there, still into the low category because humidity values are going to be very much on the higher side. So live Doppler radar is all quiet right now. Now, last night, some of us got some rainfall. There are folks like, I took a picture of it. I was like, what is this? Looking at the pavement outside of my house. Now, it wasn't a lot. Some of us got 1/10 of an inch. Most of us got about 5/100 of an inch. I literally had 5/100 of an inch of rain at my house. We'll take it. But it's definitely not a drought buster. But we talked about that possibility yesterday, and it ended up being very, very light. So here we go. This is Mariana, 75 degrees, dew point of 50. Winds are out of the northeast at 6 miles an hour. Still, you can see Old Glory there getting blown around pretty good. Nice breeze. East-northeast wind on Panama City Beach, 75 degrees. Umbrella is still blowing around there, but every table is full. Folks out enjoying themselves. Over into Seaside this evening, 78 with a dew point of 52. Winds are out of the north at 14 miles an hour. And then as we look out over into Destin there, Harbor Walk Village, sunshine shimmering down on the water, north wind at 11 miles an hour. So again, good bit of sunshine across our area. Temperatures right now currently into the 70s to even 80 degrees. Obviously, compared to yesterday, we are warmer. Most of us are in the realm of 5 to 6 degrees warmer than yesterday, but yesterday was obviously a cloudier day here across the region. Dew point temperatures right now 40s inland, but there you see the sea breeze trying to push inland. We're starting to get low 50s down along the coastline, 60s over towards Apalachicola. So to walk you through the forecast for tonight and what we can expect, let's go to meteorologist Dan Nyman.
And a good evening as well over here to Jessica, Carol stopping by, Austin checking in as well, all looking forward to that weekend forecast. Comfortable morning lows, we've had them all week, a nice side effect of some of that drier air. About 60 degrees along coastal spots, the western panhandle, the central panhandle through northern Bay County. Do about the mid to upper 50s. Ebro about 57 degrees early tomorrow morning. About 64 to St. George Island, 60 in Apalachicola, 59 degrees towards Port St. Joe. And then as you work your way towards Alligator Point, about 61 degrees early tomorrow morning as well. A little cooler towards inland parts of the Panhandle. We'll do somewhere in the mid to low 50s depending on location. About 53 degrees you see there towards Quincy, about 56 into Tallahassee. Very comfortable way to get Friday started. And then as you look through the central Panhandle along I-10, Mariana 53, you've got Wausau 54, and then up to 56 back towards Red Bay and Rock Hill to Phoenix Springs, dropping down to about 55 degrees. Overnight tonight, generally clear skies sticking around. High pressure settles in just to our north as we head towards the weekend, and easterly flows setting up shop here as we work our way through Saturday and Sunday. And it turns a little more onshore from Sunday into Monday there. You see back west of us, cloud coverage starting to become more abundant. You've got a little bit more of that south wind feeding in moisture. Absent is the rainfall. but we will start to turn more humid heading in through the upcoming weekend, and that's right around the time frame that temperatures too will start to really ramp up here across the Panhandle. I mean, we're already warming now. We had a somewhat cool start to the week, or a seasonal start to the week, but by the mid part of next week, we'll probably add another 6 or 7 degrees onto the temperatures as far as highs go. We could be looking at some spots between maybe 87 to closer towards 90 degrees in inland areas next week. So it's a warm forecast for us here, Chris, as we look towards like the back half of the 7-day and the long range part of things. And it's going to be warm across most of the East Coast. A really large ridge of high pressure will dominate the weather story, not just because of the warm weather, but also because that worsening drought monitor you showed us is going to likely continue to get worse.
Yeah, we're not going to see a whole lot of improvement. I had Brooks Newsom up there in Holmes County reach out to me today, and I haven't gone back to him yet, haven't had time, but he was asking about how long is this high pressure going to keep the rain out? It's a good question, Brooks, because I don't see it breaking down anytime soon. Certainly not in the next week. I mean, could it rain? Yeah, there's some indications the end of next week there could be a little bit of a disturbance that gets close enough, but I don't think we're talking about anything that is going to really help. I think you're probably talking long term, extended, you're kind of waiting for this pattern to flip, getting more towards El Nino and some other stuff, and that's not going to happen until honestly fall, winter, and that doesn't mean that we're not going to see a lot of rain between now and then, but I don't think that we're going to make up a whole lot of ground.
Yeah, the making up part is the real challenge. About 2 feet of rainfall is needed between July 8th to completely rid ourselves of the drought. Now, obviously, we could just improve the drought a bit. It would be beneficial. I looked at a ton of statistics related to it on the NCEI website today, Chris. The probability of the drought ending within the next 6 months is 4.95%, and the probability of this drought ending in the next 12 months is still less than 30%. So even as the patterns change, we've done some damage. It's going to take time. I had a few questions today asking about maybe El Nino having an impact on that. I think it will make for improvements, but we're up against the clock now just because we are so far behind from the past, basically since Panhandle weather started. We really haven't had much rainfall to talk about.
Yeah, it started kind of the end of the summer season. For the fall, we had a couple rain events that kind of got us out of trouble. That were some bigger rain events, but it was other than those kind of feast moments, there was definitely a lot of famine in there.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got a lot going on this weekend. We're going to talk more about that part of the forecast. How warm is it going to get? Air show stuff. Austin was asking about that. We'll talk more about that in your forecast here in just a minute.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota Equipment, the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional-grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right, all backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
When it comes to building, local experience matters. At Mid-South Lumber, our team knows the job, and we'll help you get it right the first time. From weekend DIY projects to full custom builds, you'll get solid materials, fair prices, and service you won't find at a big box store. That's why we're the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. Mid-South Lumber. Shop local. Build with confidence. Let's quote your next project today.
Spring is in the air, and there's no better time to refresh your yard or garden. At Reeves Nursery, our friendly and knowledgeable staff will help you find exactly what you need. From trees and palms to flowers, mulch, fertilizer, and everything in between, we've got a wide variety available at fair prices. Reeves Nursery, your true one-stop shop for all things landscaping. Come see our amazing collection on Highway 77 in Southport.
Are you ready to take a bite out of your beach cravings? Then come to Sharky's Beachfront Restaurant and Tiki Bar. Experience our savory featured menu items like the spicy Thai shrimp, oyster combo, mango mahi salad, and fish tacos. Don't miss our succulent snow crab legs, steamed and served with warm melted butter. At Sharky's, there's fun for the whole family, from the playground on the beach to live entertainment in the evening. So kick back, relax, and have a blast at Sharky's Beachfront Restaurant, located on Front Beach Road.
Now, from your trusted team of meteorologists at Panhandle Weather, this is your evening forecast update.
Hey, welcome back. Meteorologist Chris Smith and Dan Nyman here on this Thursday, Friday Eve, if you will.
Yeah, Friday Eve. Gotta get the trash cans out here in a second. It's a trash day on Fridays here in Springfield. No complaints, though, having a reason to go outside. Things starting to feel more and more fantastic out there as we've seen that wind sort of lighten up. It's not as maybe unsettling to be out there. Not as much hairspray needed either.
No, yeah, it was, it was still, I was up in Freeport today, and it was cool because I did like a little weather, I guess you could say a little weather segment there, and they have those kind of like windmill things that are up there, and they were still blowing around like a decent amount, so, but a far cry better than what it has been for sure.
Definitely, as we talk about this weekend's forecast, better boating conditions, better conditions for something like this, outdoor dining at Sharky's, and then of course just offshore from Sharky's, right here in the sky, we will see the air show. Friday practice day, I believe, and then Saturday, Sunday, we'll have some more festivities going on out there. 10 to 4, kind of the peak time to be there. Be sure you have your parking plans in place, as it should be busy out across Panama City Beach. Sharky's, though, tonight already a packed house. Temperatures there through the mid-70s. As we work our way through the panhandle here, you'll see us across the bays, still pretty glassy, calm waters, especially on the eastern side of the St. Andrew Bay, where that wind has kind of pushed most of that water away from this camera location. But a great sunset taking shape once again for this evening. Very calm looking conditions comparatively, as you see a few of our other cameras. We were just talking about that, having a few issues here this afternoon. Here's what's happening. A quiet 7-day forecast. Not a lot of headline weather here in the Panhandle, which is good news for vacationers and good news for your weekend plans too. Pleasant temperatures as we work our way through the next several days. The 50s coming for tomorrow morning. We'll slowly see through this weekend those morning low temperatures become a little bit stickier. I'm not talking about summertime here, but we'll definitely be noticing maybe that brief little change or an increase in the morning lows as humidity ramps up. Sunny and dry through the weekend, and we'll see a lot less wind to deal with as well. As far as this evening goes, clear skies, temperatures just slowly falling through the 60s and into the 50s, a few locations down towards the lower 50s, and that's the floor for things. Dew point temperature is about 52, 53 degrees right now. As we work through the evening hours tonight, that east wind kind of keeps things there, so as you get the clear skies and inland spots drop down to the dew point temperatures, we'll even see warmer temperatures than that across the coast, where the Gulf water is still about 67 to 69 degrees. As we get closer towards this weekend, you might have seen what just happened there through Saturday afternoon. A bit of a sea breeze taking shape, and now you've got 60s popping up on the dew point scale towards the coast. At the same time, winds will be more of that onshore direction. Maybe something to think about for swimming plans, especially by the time we get towards Sunday back through the western panhandle, as that onshore shift starts to take shape. But much calmer winds as you see through the overnight hours Friday into Saturday. Same story Saturday into Sunday. In between that, you could see just a brief pickup in the winds as that sea breeze ramps up, maybe 10 to 12 miles per hour, and an occasional gust at the beaches just slightly higher than that. So wind out of the equation as temperatures tomorrow morning start off towards the mid to low 50s inland, 60 right around the coastline, and maybe 61 in a few spots there tomorrow morning as well. Final school day of the week, same sort of dilemma days as Chris often says. Temperatures around mid 50s will be maybe cool enough for a light coat or a sweatshirt the afternoon. We start ramping things up starting tomorrow. Temperatures will be a little bit warmer and probably justify shorts and a t-shirt for most out there Friday afternoon. As we go county by county, we'll do mid to low 70s across the coast, but you've got a whole lot of 80s dropping up now across inland parts of the Panhandle, from 77 in Panama City Beach to 82 in Ebro. Head up towards Bluntstown at Foxtrot 95, 85 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Same story for the Forgotten Coast. It's right around the mid-70s towards the water, but you don't have to go very far. Carabel, for example, popping 80 degrees right there, and we go even warmer up towards St. Mark's at 82 degrees. And then it's 81 to about 85 degrees across I-10, just a touch warmer right across that Florida-Alabama border. I should say a touch cooler. Esto there at 80. Darlington at 80, closer to 82 degrees towards Vernon tomorrow afternoon. The Spring Concert Series, one of many events happening here heading through the weekend. Here in Sheffield Park, temperatures dropping slowly through the 70s tomorrow. Then as we get through Saturday, it's just a little warmer for low temperatures. You're close to around 60 degrees again at the coast, but you notice a bigger difference across I-10. Now we're closer to 56, 57 degrees. And after a similarly warm afternoon for Saturday, we continue to ramp things up heading into early next week. Over the next couple of days, we'll see changes in moisture content. You see a bit of dry air poking its way through as we work our way through Thursday into Friday. That kind of expands for us here. Helps us to find more sunshine. And of course, the biggest help will be this big ridge of high pressure starting to take shape too. All the moisture surging back across the plains. Several days of severe weather possible back west, but for us, we're deeply entrenched in that drier air heading through Saturday and Sunday. Skies couldn't look better as a result. Temperatures back west right now on the warmer side of things, that seesaw effect continuing, and where those temperatures change, we're starting to see severe weather risks, I think, as early as tonight, and we'll continue that all the way through next Tuesday, at least for right now. We'll target Kansas and Oklahoma as we get through Friday afternoon into the evening hours, and then it moves east and then bounces back west as the next little swing there of a trough starts to take shape heading into early next week. The warmth expanding westward as well, heading through Friday and on in towards the weekend. By the time we get through this weekend, it's all about rain-free weather, Chris, and warming temperatures. And like we teased just before the commercial break, warming temperatures could get us up towards 90 degrees, which for many inland spots, if they hit 90, would be the first time this year.
Yes, it is going to be getting on the toasty side and dry side as well. As you see, nothing in the rainfall forecast here for the coming days. Let's go ahead and take a gander outside as we look across northwest Florida. There you go. As we look on that easterly flow, this goes through Friday afternoon at 1:30, and you'll notice here the clouds are going to be moving kind of in this direction. Now, one thing to note, you're going to have to look kind of carefully. You will be able to kind of see the sea breeze trying to push its way inland. And so every day we'll start to see the sea breeze make a little bit more progress across our area. And you see how that moisture starts coming in from the south and east. So this is part of the process to gradually uptick the humidity across our area. Now tonight, lows will be close to 60 at the beaches and then 50s inland. But then as we head into Saturday morning, we'll be kind of in that 62 to 63 range. Still 50s inland. And then Sunday will be in the mid 60s. So every day, thanks to this moisture gradually picking up, we'll start to see that humidity increase. Now, maybe isn't going to be as comfortable, won't be as cool in the mornings, but at least with higher humidity values, those are things that help mitigate the fire risk across our area. So look at this. We go through next Tuesday into Wednesday. You can see green, but look how far away it is. It's all the way out here. And as a matter of fact, you look at the rainfall forecast, you go Great Lakes all the way down into Texas, and then like nothing east of there. Very little rainfall expected over the next 7 days. So again, just very dry conditions. As we look at what's happening this weekend, expect mid 80s, at least for inland areas. Coastal locations will probably stay into the upper 70s. Notice again, the winds though are going to be fairly light. East on Saturday, a little more southeasterly on Sunday. So what does this mean? Well, across our area, we're going to see this ridge of high pressure build in. This is what's bringing this warm weather here. Now, the thing to pay attention to, look out here to the west. This is a big trough of low pressure, a lot of unsettled weather here. As you move through the extended forecast period, here's your ridge of high pressure. As this trough begins to move in, you'll see some disturbances like this. As those slide by, that's what's going to end up bringing like rounds of thunderstorms and severe weather. But again, that's well north of us. But we do at least next Thursday start to see this shrink just a little bit. The ridge becomes a little bit more tilted here. And so we may be able to sneak. You see that little dip right there? Maybe. You know, but again, this isn't like anything great. That's like literally the only chance for rainfall as you move through that extended forecast period. So 70s inland, Our 70s at the coast, 80s inland for the next 7 days. You saw there temperatures getting up there, 87, maybe 88 degrees. As Dan was talking about, flirting with 90, lows into the 50s and 60s. Gulf Coast salute. Let's run through it. I mean, you are not going to be able to do much better. And I was looking at the marine forecast. It looks pretty good both Friday and Saturday. Sunday, we'll see. With that southeasterly wind, that might add a little bit more of a bump there, but 70s expected for highs. Again, you're on the water temperature still is 69 degrees. So that's why 74, 75 is about all you're going to be able to do. But if you were lining up 3 days for an air show, like these would be the three days that you would want. Beautiful weather. Now, beyond that, tax day through that weekend, look at that. Well, a highly likely chance of above average temperatures all across northwest Florida. Precipitation expected to remain on the drier side. Pretty good confidence there. Through the 23rd, still above average temperatures. Keep in mind, May is like our second driest month too, climatologically. So it's, even if you see above average rainfall in May, as Dan was talking about, we're like almost 2 feet is what it would take to get out of like the drought situation. And so, even if you saw like double the rain in May, that's like 3 inches above average because we only average like around 3 inches of rain. And then as you look inland areas, there's your 80s there, but nothing in the way of any rainfall.
No, it is all dry, at least for now. We'll see. I saw that little swing through you were looking at, and maybe at least the sea breeze could get like a couple of little cells going. We saw that not last week, I guess, but the week prior to that. So there's a little chance of, some rain, but we'll have to be doing a rain dance, washing our car every single day, just trying to jinx things to make it happen. Otherwise, it is going to be at least a dry start to summer. And while for many of us, like, things will improve eventually, it is kind of problematic just looking at the impact of these sorts of things for like agriculture around here, where I don't really see on a larger scale pattern relief for this probably until after the growing season is done.
Yeah, I think that is fair. And when it comes to the tropics, that's so hit and miss. And Dan, you want me to pull up the tropics numbers?
We might as well talk about it being a weather channel, but you'd be better off just like, I don't know, playing a game of darts and see what you land on for a forecast.
Let me go ahead. I did get the numbers here.
And to be fair, like, there is science behind these forecasts.
100%.
I am just a negative Nancy, because when it comes to communicating the weather, you're stopping by and checking a forecast for 2 minutes a day. This sort of stuff isn't really helpful, because it does not mean with any stretch of imagination you are or aren't going to be impacted by something from the tropics. So you say like there's going to be a super above average season and everybody freaks out, and then you say there's a below average season coming and nobody's prepared. I think it's better for us to just take it one storm at a time and maybe not get so excited here in April.
Yeah, I think I posted about it earlier, and it was like, 92, there were 7 named storms, and one of those was Andrew. Like, so, 7 is like half of the number of storms that they're predicting and half of average. So, again, it only takes one. Ask Jamaica, was it a busy hurricane season last year? So they had Melissa.
Yeah.
But, nonetheless, the thought process is that because of a developing El Nino, now maybe could that mean the first part of the season because El Nino takes time to like fully develop? Maybe, can you get an early season storm, or are you more likely to, or is that where you need to make hay if you get lucky with an A, B, or C storm? I don't know. But, that's where we are. NOAA typically releases their forecast next month, usually during like Hurricane Preparedness Week, I think. And so we'll see what they say. But last year, this is very similar to what we had last year as far as like the forecast. So we'll see. It's right a little bit, maybe a tad below average, pretty close to average though.
And analog-wise, this year was kind of pinpointed as one that could be similar to 2023, which was a year that we had one storm up towards the Big Bend and virtually everything else kind of recurved and stayed out to sea. And I do remember that one having a decent, like, a solid number of storms, but again, like most of those were fish storms we wouldn't know about before 1950.
Yes. Yeah, well, yes, there's that. And like we're definitely naming a lot more stuff these days than we used to. So there's also that. Like, I mean, which Dan pointed out last year, there were at least like 3 or 4 storms that were like,
Yeah. Those were verification storms.
yeah, yeah, exactly, because they were above average last year, and so we gotta get it up there. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe that's conspiracy theory, but
Well, everybody's into those these days, so why not us too? Either way, I wouldn't worry about hurricane season much, obviously, in April. And my advice for this season is to take it one storm at a time. You can't let it consume you, especially with the number of years we have here, just climatologically speaking, where nothing happens.
exactly. So we will take it as we get it, but hopefully it is quiet, and or maybe we get a nice soaking tropical storm. Maybe that would be the best of all worlds. So we will see.
Well, that would be even better. A storm, weak tropical storm.
I can't remember. Did I have it in the? I can't remember. Did I have it in my show, the Sharon Sheffield Park? I may not.
Yeah.
Oh, did I have it in there?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Oh no, it was no. You had it. It was yeah.
Yep.
Okay, making sure. I forgot about the spring concert series there. I wanted to make sure to mention that was going on tomorrow night, 6 until 8. Weather's going to be awesome for that.
And again, another end to a Panhandle Weather Live at 6 show. We've got one more Friday night tomorrow as we head off towards the weekend, closer to the NHL playoffs too, Chris. If the Flyers win tonight, we're definitely playing round 1. So I'm excited for that. Be excited for our show too tomorrow.
It's Masters weekend.
Hell yeah.
Masters started today, so that's going on, and there's our gnome. They're selling these things
Fantastic.
for $700, like the one for this year, like $700. Like if you're lucky enough to get one. This is last year's. We got one.
I'm going to pass on that.
I know. Oh, you can only have so many gnomes. But y'all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you so much for your support. And we will see you tomorrow night. But TGIF, everyone. Y'all have a great Friday.